Hello and welcome to the Pitch and Moan podcast, the show where we take a theme and turn it into an idea. My name is Luke and joining me as always is my co-host Aidan.
Hello.
And Helen.
Hello.
Today we're going to be pitching a sitcom, but before we get into that, what have we all been up to? Helen?
Last week I took my sister to drink and draw with me, and they've moved it. It's not in the church anymore. It's in a pub.
Right.
I don't know if you've been before.
You told me about it before. It's a bit grotty in there.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I just went upstairs. It didn't seem that bad, but they kept the lights really low as you was trying to draw, so you didn't know what the hell you were drawing because it was that dark.
It's the one that they shut down ages ago, and they made like a big petition to try and reopen it.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
went
under
to
new
a drink and
management.
draw before, didn't we, Luke?
Yeah.
That was shit.
What did you draw? Because I drew a guy with bunny ears. Couldn't see his thing.
It was like a magician woman or something, wasn't she? What was she?
Wasn't it burlesque or something?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
Got nipple
thought we were
tassels.
gonna draw. I thought we were gonna draw a burlesque dancer, but it was just some guy with bunny ears.
How much did you pay to get it for that?
$5.
Bit of a rip-off, innit?
It weren't bad. I quite enjoyed it, but it was expensive for what it was.
Do you get your drinks free or not?
Oh, I didn't buy any drinks. There was a bar there, but I'm not sure if they were using it or not. The one downstairs was still going, obviously.
Yeah, I think the one that me and Aidan went to, they were charging for beers and stuff, but it was like double what you'd pay in the pub.
Yeah, it was
so
really
none of us
bad.
were drinking out.
So that pub was supposed to close, was it? And they've just...
Yeah, it closed a few years ago, and then everyone like did a big rally to sort of reopen it. So now it's under new management.
Are the paintings on the wall upstairs quite cool? Are they really old?
I don't know. I only went in it once after went to a concert, and then it was the only pub still open, so we kind of stuck to go there.
They have little biker meetups there, don't they?
Yeah. Was the guy behind the bar like all looked like a biker, like all bearded and stuff?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy.
Go on, Aidan. What have you done?
I've had quite a quiet 2 weeks. I've been spending a lot of time doing some drawing. The other weekend I went over to Nicole's place and we had.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I did. No. What were they called, Luke? Those slate things? What she put on?
We had steak stones.
Yeah, that's the one. Where you put on the raw meat and then you can cook your steak how you like it, and it was really good. And then next day we walked dogs. But other than that, I've not really done much else. I had a driving lesson also on Nicole's car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kill everyone again.
Yeah, joyriding. It was well good.
Again.
Did circles and laps around the car park.
Oh, tell them about your little rival though, whilst you were driving.
Oh yeah, do you know those twat scooters? They're like hoverboard things, like 2 wheels, and you got to balance on them. Yeah, the hoverboard things. Well, some little brat put a I don't know, it was like a go-kart attachment thing. So it was like a seat and like 2 front wheels. You could steer it like a go-kart. So whilst I'm doing my laps around this car park, this little numpty comes along and just ruins everything. So it weren't that long. It was on there about 20 minutes, and then he buggered off. But still, ran the bastard over.
Yeah.
That's when you hit and run, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's fine. What about you, Luke? What have you been up to?
Stopped at Nicole's for the past week. It's sort of like dog sitting, so it's mainly just been a case of watching films and just drawing and stuff. But I did get quite a few films watched, which I'm going to sort of breeze through because I'll give my little, not a review, but I'll basically say which ones were shit and which ones weren't.
Yeah, right.
So we started off at a low point in which we watched the new Power Rangers movie.
I heard that's quite good.
It's really not. It's
Who the fuck told me it was good?
no, it's hard to describe because it's sort of like I don't want to be the person, because I'm a Power Rangers fan. I don't want to be the one where it's like, oh, they got this wrong. They're not wearing the right costumes and stuff like that. I'm sort of ignoring that. Yeah, I'm sort of used to that. They did do a shit job with that, but I'm glossing over it. The worst thing about it is it's the sort of the tone and sort of the length of the film. So for the first 3 hours, the first 3/4 of the film, there's no Power Rangers really in it. It's all just what the kids are doing. They're training to be Power Rangers. It's like the Breakfast Club, pretty much.
Right.
Like a lot like it. And the Power Rangers are maybe in it for the last 30 minutes or something. So for a good, whatever, an hour and a half, there's no Power Rangers whatsoever.
Yeah.
But then the weirdest bit with it is it's the tone of the film. So it starts off really, really cool, in fairness. It's like a sort of flashback into prehistoric sort of times. Dinosaurs are knocking about. And it's like the first sort of team of Power Rangers having a fight, and then that's it. But it's quite dark and gritty. It's really cool. And then we get introduced to the teenagers. And it's sort of like their first introduction is there's a joke about a bull being jacked off, which is really weird.
Right.
And you gloss over it a little bit, but it's like, okay, it's not your normal type of Power Rangers. But then it's like they try and appeal to kids by making some of the characters goofy and quite cartoonish and stuff like that. But then there's also jokes about sexual stuff, and there's loads of swearing in it from the kids.
What's the age on it?
I think he's age 12. It's sort of like I said, it's a lot like The Breakfast Club. So it's that same sort of rating or whatever you'd say. But then there's only just little hints of cartoonish stuff in it. It's really bizarre.
Right, okay. I'm trying to picture it.
There's a spoiler sort of thing that I'll give out here, but it's not relevant really. Where all these kids are in detention for a certain reason. So for example, the Red Rangers is this thing with a bull at the beginning. He's not the one who wanked it off or anything, but he sort of kidnapped a bull. Anyway, it's a weird story. And you don't find out what the Pink Ranger's one is until sort of later on. She won't tell anyone. And then it's sort of revealed towards the end why she was in detention, and it's something like it's implied that she took she sent like some kind of sexually explicit image around the school of one of her friends or something like that. And then it comes back to this is a Power Rangers movie. So it's like, I don't know how to describe. It's like whoever are producing this film, someone were saying, let's make it all adultified, let's make it something for, I don't know, the modern audience. And then there's another side saying, let's make it for kids, and it clashes really weird.
That sounds really shit.
Yeah.
Most of the movie spent in detention.
Not most of it. It's sort of introduced in detention. Most of it's spent in this weird underground cave where they're just training. But it's kind of like, would you take your kids to see this film? No, because they're going to find it boring. It's too adult for them. Like I said, there's no Power Rangers really in it.
They've probably done that to make another film.
Yeah, and would you watch it as an adult? No, because it's slightly too cartoony to take seriously.
Right,
so it just doesn't work.
That sounds really bad.
So that's a no from me. Don't watch Power Rangers. It's a DVD film for sure. Going up a notch though, we watched a good film. We watched Sudden Death, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Old film, not much to say about it really. It's got Powers Booth in it, who's a terrorist, which is pretty good. And it's basically Die Hard in a hockey stadium. It's really good. Then we watched Misery as well at some point during this week off. That was a good one. That's a Stephen King film. Again, an old one.
Is that the one where it's a woman and she keeps the guy in bed?
Yeah. So it's the one where it's there's a guy who's an author and he gets into a car crash, and then she sort of looks after him, but then she turns out to be a nutter, and she's like starts torturing him, all sorts of shit.
That's why I'm afraid of stopping up friends' houses because of that film.
Yeah. So anyway, I watched Misery, and then we sort of we didn't conclude it. We just, over the course of a couple of days, we watched all the Fast and Furious films, and
that was shit.
I went into watching these films with the intention of them being sort of like a Sharknado kind of ridiculous action film, and we could take the piss out of it. But it's really hard to take the piss out of it because it's entertaining as well. It's kind of like Mission Impossible style stories, but produced by like the Resident Evil team.
Yeah.
And it works really well. So we watched through all of those. And except for Tokyo Drift, I'd recommend them all.
I lost interest in the Fast and Furious. I think I've watched them all up to 5. I think I watched Fast 5. I've not watched them after that. 6, 7 or 8.
I was going to say 5's where it starts getting really good. The first one's quite good, but then 5 upwards is good.
Yeah.
I think it works better as well if you imagine that from the first film upwards, that Vin Diesel's a robot and no one's aware of it. So that's why there's bits where it's like in one of them, there's like a big plane crash, and all the team are sort of like really far away from the plane because obviously it's on fire, jet fuel. It'd burn their faces off just looking at it too long. And Vin Diesel just walks through the flames, like unscathed. And he'll do all these weird things where it's like he stomps on the ground at one point and he just smashes up the floor. Obviously he jumps loads of cars and he comes out of him without any damage on him whatsoever. Or he'll be looking away and he'll sense like an enemy nearby, and then he'll turn his head and then chase after the enemy without even knowing that they're there. So yeah,
without even knowing where they are.
Yeah, if you imagine he's a robot from the first film upwards, then it works even better. And any time they sort of reference it where it's like, I don't know, if they touch him or something and he's unresponsive whatsoever, or he doesn't smile at like a happy moment, it works really funny.
I'm going to watch it like that.
I will. I'm going to watch it and then just keep in mind that there's a robot.
Yeah. I was also thinking as well of going into getting one of the films, and whenever they have that sort of like trancey Gran Turismo style music, replacing it with just radio songs and see how it works.
Who's gonna drive you home?
Like, come on, Eileen.
Yes.
So if I do a cut of that, I'll send it you and you can watch that.
Oh, you should do. Yeah, do that.
Alright,
I appreciate that.
That's all I've been up to, really. So now we move on to the next segment of the show, which is we're talking about sitcoms. So, Aidan, what sitcoms do you watch, or have you watched, or whatever?
I don't really watch sitcoms. I did used to watch Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But it got really boring after about... What season are we on? They're on season 10, I think. I think after about maybe the 5th season, it's just too repetitive. All the characters are just 2D. No.
Yeah.
There's nothing new.
There's no jokes with it either. That's something that you don't really realise until it's brought up, that they don't tell any jokes throughout the show.
No.
Yeah, like I remember you saying, Luke, they explain the jokes.
Yeah.
It ruins it.
Well, not only
I
that.
always remember that.
If you watch one of the clips of it where they've taken out the laugh tracks,
it's just not funny.
It's just them talking, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't work.
It's got to the stage now where I used to think that I can't remember her name, she's got a really weird name, but the actress who plays Penny, I don't know, she's just not attractive anymore.
No.
Not because she's changed,
I think her name's Kaylee.
Is it Kayla?
Yeah, I think that's her name.
I don't know, she's just... Oh yeah, that blonde girl from Big Bang Theory, and then it's just not the same. Because she was in Charmed, and I remember watching Charmed as a kid, and thinking, oh yeah, you know what, she's pretty decent there. But yeah, now she's just Big Bang Theory, so...
Yeah.
Megan loves Friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it. It's alright, but every time I hear that bloody theme tune, it just scars me. Bloody hell, pisses me right off. But that's it. Sitcoms I don't really watch. I do watch TV programs, but they're not sitcoms. What about you, Helen?
I watch. I haven't finished it because I just take it really slow. It's been 2 years and I should have finished it by now. But I've been watching Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
Black Books. Have you heard of Black Books?
I've heard of Black Books.
Yeah, that's quite old.
I don't know what it's about.
It's from the early 2000s. It's about an Irish guy that owns a bookshop and all the shenanigans they get up to.
Shenanigans.
All the shenanigans.
Is the bookstore called Shenanigans?
No, it's called Black Books. That wasn't intentional. And then there's IT Crowd.
Yeah, I like IT Crowd.
Yeah, I love that. It's great. And then there's an American one that I've watched recently, and I don't think it's took off at all. I don't think, but it was Idiot Sitter. That one was okay. It's a bit like watching a chick flick.
Yeah.
That's it, really. I'd have to think on it more to remember what I do watch, because my memory's just so bad.
Yeah.
What about you, Luke?
Go on, yeah, what do you watch?
Well, I went through a list of just a list of sitcoms earlier and sort of picked the ones that I do actually watch. So we've been catching up with Parks and Rec for the moment. I've got a couple of seasons left of that. Friends I've got on the list. I've watched all of Friends, but it's sort of like whenever it's on TV, it's just one to stick on when there's there's nothing else on. Loads of like animated ones I've got on here, so you've got ones like Simpsons and South Park and Family Guy and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't really class them as sitcoms properly, but they come up under the category. Like Flintstones, for example, was one of the earliest animated sitcoms, so that's sort of what spiraled it all off.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty comes up as a sitcom as well. I don't class it as a sitcom, but that's one that I've got up there that I watch. There's a lot in the list that I used to watch, like the IT Crowd, because that's finished now. Fresh Prince used to watch.
Oh, Fresh Prince.
Only Fools and Horses used to watch.
Oh, that's a good one as well, yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle I used to watch. Spaced, Alan Partridge, Everybody Hates Chris. But the ones that I've watched more recently is The Office, Extras, and Life's Too Short. They're all the Ricky Gervais ones.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while, but I've only just got around to watching them really. And Derek's funny.
I've never heard of Derek.
The Spaced one. That's one I've seen. Yeah.
Spaced is good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. He's a comic book writer, isn't he?
Yeah. And it's all it's sort of part of the what do you call it? All the Simon Pegg Nick Frost stuff in it. So
yeah.
Going back a little bit to the Fresh Prince, now that you've mentioned it, I got Megan into that. I think she's been watching. Well, we've both been watching it for the past 3-4 days.
Yeah.
I think we're on season 4 now, something like that.
Have you swapped up books yet?
No, they're not. Oh, we must be on season 4 then. I don't know. They're not swaps yet though, but I think it's season 5 when they swap. Can't remember, but yeah.
Which is the point where they get a little kid?
That's in the later seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know where he comes from though.
No, I can't remember if they adopt him or something, because when he joins the family, he's like 4 or something.
Yeah.
Straight away.
I think it might be like a Will Smith scenario, where he just joins the family for some whatever reason.
Do you not think one of the problems with sitcoms is, I mean, firstly, like Parks and Rec, for example, they all turn into sort of cartoon characters after a while, which I've said to you before. Whenever you compare sort of like the first maybe 2 seasons with the later ones, they get really gimmicky.
Parks and Recreation, I didn't really enjoy the first season. I needed to get past that to start enjoying it.
Yeah, I was sort of the same. I enjoyed the first season, but the second one was much better.
Yeah. I think it gets better.
Which season are you up to, Helen?
Oh my god, I don't even know. I'm past season 4.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 seasons left.
Yeah.
I'm just taking my time because I'm enjoying it.
We're on season 6, I think it is. We've got 2 left, and it's getting really hard to get through it now because it's always the same things happen every episode. Someone does something that's just their character.
Yeah.
And it's hard to relate to them.
I've finished it. I watched all the seasons, and it's bad. Like the first season's not too great. Then it gets really good up until about season 4, and then it just starts to go slowly downhill. Yeah. It's like what you said. It's just the same old, really. Just the same characters, but in different situations.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
It's like what happens if we take these characters and put them in. What happens if they get drunk one episode? What happens if they go on holiday one episode? It's all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. It should just be like Amy Poehler and the gang go to London. Amy Poehler and the gang run for city president. Amy Poehler and the gang. It's not. It's enjoyable. It's watchable.
It is. Yeah. There's still funny moments in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens with a lot of sitcoms, though.
Yeah.
Especially Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory is one of the worst that I've witnessed.
I used to watch How I Met Your Mother as well, and that had the same sort of problems.
I don't like that show.
No.
I think it's hard for them to keep a sitcom going for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like take The Simpsons, for example. So that's been going since, whatever, like the early 90s or something. And the old stuff is quite good still. It's still sort of fresh. But most of the new episodes are really sort of like unbearable to watch.
They've churned out.
Yeah. There's always a guest on every episode, and it's like they've run out of ideas pretty much. But they keep making them.
They just don't want it to die.
Yeah. They also start getting really unrealistic and stuff, do you not find, with sitcoms? So it's like, when they get like a celebrity guest on or something like that, I think at that point is when things start just breaking reality too much.
Yeah.
So, like for Parks and Rec, for example, we watched an episode the other day where it's like at the end of it they had the Game of Thrones throne or like a replica or something like that, and you start realising that in almost all of these episodes hardly anyone does any work. They're all coming up with these ridiculously expensive, elaborate ideas.
Well, watching Parks and Rec, I think, who's actually doing work on it? But then again, where would the story be if they just do work?
I know, I get that, but it's like, I think it was in the same episode where they had the Game of Thrones throne. What's he called? Ben starts having like a massage or something like that in his office, or he's set it all out. And then he's done all these, whatever you call it, like anniversary presents where he's got like a horse and carriage and things like that. And firstly, you know that'd cost a ridiculous amount of money. Secondly, whenever it doesn't go right for him, he just sort of throws it away like, oh, it's just one of those things. And thirdly, he's not doing any work during that time.
No.
You know, where's he organised all this?
Is in season 7. I can't remember what year it aired. Was it 2015 or something like that? Season 7.
When did Guardians come out?
I think it was 2015 then. Anyway, in 2015, season 7 is based 2 years in the future, so it's based in 2017, even though it came out in 2015.
Yeah.
And they've got like mobile phones that have like holograms and shit like that, and drones, but like not like the drones that are around today, but like proper like robotic, futuristic drones.
Yeah.
I mean, you just think, well, what happened to Parks and Rec? This isn't Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
So, it does get a lot worse. It's worth watching to the end just for the sake of finishing it.
I think they thought, fuck it, because it's the last one. Just
Yeah,
probably.
It.
Yeah. But it's just weird how, you know, it's only 2 years after and they thought that we had fucking holograms and all sorts.
Yeah, they sort of jumped the gun a bit with it.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah. Well, I'll have to watch it and find out.
Yeah.
If they're just taking the piss or not.
Have you tried Arrested Development at all?
No.
That's a good show. I reckon
haven't.
you'd get into that.
What is it?
It's it stars Jason Bateman. You know the guy from, what's he in? He was in Hancock, and he's in a load of. You've seen Paul, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know the CIA agent who's like it turns out that he's good in the end, but he's the one hunting him down.
Yeah.
That guy. He's the main character, and then he's sort of like he's trying to keep this family business together, and all his family are like fuck ups. So you've got one who's like an idiot, one who's like always spending money, his mum's like a real bitch and stuff like that, and his dad's got sent to prison, so he's trying to sort of fix the family business whilst all the family's trying to run it to the ground, sort of. It's good, it's worth watching.
Yeah. I might give that a watch. Because I'm always after new things to watch.
Yeah.
So I prefer, I'd much prefer to watch like a good TV series than a film.
Yeah.
They're just better at, obviously they can tell a better story over a longer period rather than cramming a story into a 2-hour film, which obviously it works in a lot of cases, but sometimes there's a lot of films that are a bit naff. So.
Yeah. Well, take comedy films for example. I really
so
find it hard
bad
to
right
watch a comedy film because none of them are funny.
No.
I've noticed that. I tried looking for good ones the other day, but especially now there isn't that many at all.
No, you look through like a list and it's like that looks shit, that looks shit, that looks shit. It's always the same actors but just in like a different scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you remember the last funny film you've seen?
No.
Power Rangers. No, last funny film I saw.
The film that I found the funniest, probably The Guardians, and it's not intentionally a comedy.
No.
But that's the only film that I can think of that I actually found humorous.
Deadpool I enjoyed, but I think that was sort of supported with we watched it in the cinema, so obviously you get the cinema reaction. When you watch it on DVD, it's sort of not as funny.
No, it's not as good. It's still a good film, but it's not as, for the comic relief in it, it's not as impressive as at the cinema.
Yeah, it's reminded me actually for sitcoms that I watch. Silicon Valley, that's a good one. You know Weasel out of Deadpool, the guy with the glasses.
Alright, yeah.
He's in this sitcom where it's about like a tech business, so they're trying to build like an app. It's sort of like The Big Bang Theory, but funny and not up its own arse. It's really good. So that's one
Yeah.
you could get into, Silicon Valley.
Alright. Bear that one in mind.
Yeah.
Is it like IT Crowd?
It's like IT Crowd, but it's not set up like a laugh track sitcom. It's more like it's not a mockumentary. It's quite serious in itself, but it's funny.
Alright.
It's hard to describe. There's a bit where he slaps a kid, that's pretty good, and throws his bike into a bush.
Oh, I've watched it.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Well, I've watched that part. I know what you mean. Yeah.
it's really good. He slaps this kid and threatens him to get some pills for him.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's weird that that's the part I remember.
Yeah, that's probably my favourite bit, but it gets better on as the seasons go, because they start pulling some more sort of recurring jokes out.
Yeah. What's that called? I'm gonna write it down.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. I write it on this blank letter that you got me.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to pitches then?
Yeah, sure.
All
Who's
right.
going first this time?
I think I'm on for going first this time.
Okay.
There is an order for it, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to suggest it's me. So, my pitch is called Derek Lyons' Ultimate Warrior. And it's a show, it's a mockumentary about Z-list actor Derek Lyons. He was in such films as Star Wars, Indiana Jones, James Bond. He was in The Bill. But the thing is, you're going to have no clue who he is because he's a film extra. He's one of these guys that you go to like a comic convention and he's there and he's like, I was in Star Wars. Where were you? It's like, I was this guy in the crowd. That sort of thing.
I've just googled him.
Yeah. So he plays in Star Wars he plays a temple guard and a medal bearer. So I thought it'd be a good sort of a good opportunity to sort of poke fun at his life and maybe get him some like a career. The same way like Warwick Davis did when he started doing all his comedy stuff.
Yeah.
So the producing team for the show would be Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, because I like the work that they do. They're good at mockumentaries and they're good at sort of like ripping into people's personal lives and making like a caricature of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd fit into the show themselves like they do in their other stuff, but if they wanted to cameo, if they wanted a role, that, you know, it's very broad, this pitch. So the general plot for the show is Derek Lyons is a struggling actor and he's been deciding on a change of career, and he chooses that he wants to compete for like a UFC style competition. One of the funny things about him is that he's already invented his own style of martial arts called Zen Swim, where it's like he used to do swimming as a coach sort of thing, and he also did martial arts. He's not a good martial artist. There's videos of him on YouTube doing this thing, and he's got like a good kick stretch, but he's not good at actually doing the martial arts. He'll do like a session for about 10 seconds and then he's out of breath. I don't want to criticise, but yeah, I'm sure he'd sort of whatever.
Yeah.
He'd be able to poke fun at that.
Yeah.
So the show would be maybe like 8 to 10 episodes long. I find that the briefer that seasons are, the better, because otherwise it gets dragged out too much.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So through the show we see that Derek's trying to get film roles, he's working at comic conventions and stuff like that, and the main sort of focus is he's going to be training to be this cage fighter guy. For like a supporting cast, I've got Brian Blessed as his personal trainer.
Oh, Brian Blessed.
So he's just going to yell abuse at him. Matt Berry from the IT Crowd, you know, the second boss in the show, the loud one.
I love him.
He's going to play a ring announcer.
Yeah.
Jessica Stevenson from Spaced would be his agent, sort of like the same way Merchant was Ricky Gervais's agent in Extras. But sort of the roles would be reversed a bit there, where in this case Lyons is the incompetent one and nobody just wants to hire him. So the best work that she can get for him is just extras work in films on occasion. He'd have a guru to sort of train his mind and his soul. That'd be played by Bill Bailey, who basically bullshits all his philosophy to him, and he's buying into it.
That'd be good.
I wish this was real.
Yeah, and then there's a couple of actors that I also think could work well, like for comedic roles, but I don't really have something set for them. So Martin Freeman from The Office, and who's in The Hobbit, obviously. David Tennant's good at stuff. Simon Pegg's funny. and get Jonathan Ross in it as well, because whenever he's playing like a comedic version of himself, he's quite good at that.
Yeah.
Like doing fake interviews. So the series is going to build up to like a big sort of climax where the last episode is the fight, and you know, Lyons gets in the cage. You've got Brian Blessed shouting at him, sort of edging him up, and you know, building up his sort of strength. And then he maybe gets knocked down in like 7 seconds or something really anticlimactic, and then that's the end of the show. Sort of like he'll show the aftermath where it's like, I gave it my best shot and all that sort of stuff, but he loses the fight is the sort of finale.
And then he moves on to something ridiculous, and it backs out him being an ice cream man or something. And
that could be like season 2 or something like Derek Lyons' Ultimate Ice Cream Man or something like that. Every time it's going to be something ridiculous. So that's the basic plot of my pitch.
I like it.
Good. That was really good.
I would watch that.
Helen, what's your pitch?
Mine, again, is just some notes. But I had a think, and I thought, who doesn't really do much now? And I thought, Lindsay Lohan, she might be in the news sometimes.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really do much. So I want to make a mockumentary with retired Disney stars and other actors. Maybe someone from Nickelodeon can be the villain role. So I thought Amanda Bynes. And what it's going to be is it focuses on a weekly support group that they all attend.
Right.
A bit like Alcoholics Anonymous or something like that. So they all sit round and stuff. And Amanda Bynes is always trying to break into the community centre and join in and stuff. So she just pisses them off all the time. And then we've got Lindsay, obviously. She's doing drugs. She's struggling with drugs and stuff. And then Shia LaBeouf is now going crazy after some frogs destroyed his mental health in his weird political art project.
I forgot that Shia LaBeouf was a Disney star. That's brilliant.
I didn't really think of any more stars because I didn't have time. I'm sorry. But
That's fair enough.
I wish I carried on because it was going in a good direction. I really wanted to make that.
No, yeah, it's good that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Disney therapy. Because it works as well, because you could sort of play it off as serious in that almost every child actor that's come out of Disney's gone mental in some way.
Gone AWOL,
Yeah. Because you could also have like obviously the comical side of it, but then it also tackles with like real life problems and
that's
rehab and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd be able to poke fun at their own fuck ups in life as well.
Yeah, I thought there could be episodes where they're trying to get into films again. And then they'll come back and report on how that went in a little weekly group.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Aiden, what is your?
My pitch is it's not much. There's enough to it though, but the way I've not got no actors or anything, but my pitch is called I Hate America, and it starts off with 3 villains of America. They could be Russians. Oh no, Russians aren't enemies, are they anymore?
It's ambiguous, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so we'll scrap the Russians. We'll replace them with maybe Koreans or terrorists, Al Qaeda or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, they all come to America. Yeah, they all come to America and they all rent an apartment together, and they are plotting some sort of terrorist act. But slowly they start to actually like and fall in love with America. And when the show gets a bit stale with the same old, the characters around each other, they have to act like they still hate America, even though all 3 of them are beginning to like it. And then maybe later on in the season or something like that, other members of I don't know, the terrorist group, maybe 3 more come, and then these new 3 members are fresh to America, so they still hate it. So the original 3 characters have to try and act like they hate America, but yet talk the new ones out of all the plots that they come up with, saying other bad ideas. That's all I got, but that's the best.
That's good. Then I like that idea.
It could be kind of comical.
So will it be a bit like that? Is it 4 Lions?
Like 4 Lines. That's what I was thinking.
What if one of the characters hates America all the way through it? So he's trying to egg them on. Come on, do something. We need to do something now. And they're like, no, coming up with excuses all the time.
No, I think I like the idea that
Maybe, yeah.
they all have to sort of hide it from each other.
Yeah,
I think that's quite funny.
Yeah, all three of them, because each one thinks that the other two hate America. They think they're the only one that is beginning to like America, when really all three of them are. So all three of them have to act like they hate it, even though none of them do.
Yeah.
And none of them want to do anything, want to do any terrorist acts anymore.
Throughout the series, do they ever do one attack, or is it some really bad, lame attack that just goes wrong?
I don't think they could.
And it's really
I don't
embarrassing.
think it could. I think what it could do is the other one of them will come up with a way of doing some sort of terrorist attack, and then the other two will talk him out of it. And then I don't know. That's why I said it could get stale pretty much in the middle of the first season. So we'll just have, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you did a short run of it and then
probably
only a couple of seasons, then it'd sort of fix itself, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah, it will do.
Yeah. No, I like that idea.
Me too. All
Okay.
the ideas this week.
Good show all round,
I agree,
folks.
yeah, I think it'd be good.
Good.
I
Good
agree.
Stuff. Well done.
Someone's got to wear one of these pitches, and then they'd be like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Someone high up, someone who can actually make
Someone's
these
gonna
happen.
Yeah.
Steal them. I think they'd steal them. They'd see how small it was. And go, oh, no one will know. Steal that. And then it'd be only us
Nothing's
three that'd be
copyrighted.
like, fucking hell, we
Yeah.
missed out there.
And they'll cast Derek Lyons as the lead,
Yeah.
as a hidden gem that they've come across through this.
And then they'll, in the film, they'll throw a little "fuck you, Luke" in there.
Yeah.
Right at the bottom of the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to happen now, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I can imagine it happening, and it'll make me cry.
We're gonna sit down like 5 years time, and then a film or a sitcom will be announced, and it'll be exactly the same as one of our pitches. And
Yeah.
then life would be shit.
All the money we could have made from
We'll
these
all be
genius
bitter
ideas.
about it until we die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On a lighter note.
Okay, so this week we're starting a new segment where Aiden's going to be delivering a little story from his imagination, I suppose you could call it.
The subconscious.
It's a dream, basically, because he's always having these weird dreams. I thought it'd be good for him to share them with the listeners. So...
It's Aiden's Dream Journal.
This week I've been having recurring dreams of my teeth falling out. I don't know what it is, but in my dreams my teeth fall out, and it's like Tic Tacs. It's the only way I can explain it. It's like if you put Tic Tacs in your mouth and then just gently push them out with your tongue. They just all fall on the floor gently, and then, but they were my teeth. That's the only way I can describe it, and it is horrible. It is absolutely horrible, because I'm like feeling around for my teeth, picking them up off the floor, trying to put them back in, and they just won't go in. I've got a little bit of a question here for you now. I was wondering if you two have had any recurring dreams, and what was they? Go on, Helen, what was yours?
Mine's similar to yours, apart from I'm chalking on glass, and it's really weird. 'Cause it's so realistic when you're actually in the dream. You just chalk on glass,
Yes,
or
they are.
pins, or
Yeah,
staples,
yeah.
anything sharp.
Oh god, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It's almost
that's
as bad as
nasty.
mine.
I think they're very similar, aren't they?
I googled mine. I think they are, yeah. I googled mine, and literally I just typed in a recurring dream of teeth falling out, and apparently it's because I am something about I'm sexually deprived or sexually frustrated. I'm just not getting the sexual attention that is needed in my life. That's what the internet told me. So
From
maybe
your
you
teeth
can
falling
say-
out.
From my teeth falling out, yeah. My teeth falls out because I'm horny.
I do have not a recurring dream though, but I've got a vivid one from back when I was like maybe 7 or something like that.
Alright, okay. I hope
Okay.
it's one I'm thinking of that you've told me before.
Probably. So it's a rainy day and I'm walking home.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a abnormally rainy day, I'm walking home, walk past all these houses, and I go into a house. It's not the house that I live in at the moment, it's somewhere else, but apparently that's home for me. So I go upstairs, I go into my bedroom's the same, and then I look out the window, and then on our roof we've got like, we used to have like a plank of wood sort of thing going across, because if you stand on the plastic roof you're going to fall through, so you stand on this piece of wood instead. And I look out the window and I see a baby that's just sort of sat on this piece of wood crying, and I'm watching it through the rain like what's going on, and I see a hooded figure start walking down the roof along this plank of wood, and it picks up the baby, and at the moment there's like a flash of lightning and the figure looks at me, and then underneath the hood is the face of Michael Jackson. And then I woke up from that. It scarred me for life.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Oh, that was brilliant.
It freaked me out, man. So I think that concludes Aiden's dream journal.
Yeah, Aiden's dream journal for this episode.
Yep. So that does it for the show. You'll like this, I've come up with an outro this time.
Alright.
Alright, so you can find us on Facebook under Pitch and Moan. You can find us on YouTube at Pitch and Moan. You can subscribe to us on iTunes through Podomatic, where we're under Pitch and Moan again. You can email us at pitchandmoanpod@gmail.com. We're really not that hard to find. It's you can give us a googs and we come up.
Yeah.
If you want to help the show out, I guess tell a friend or something like that. You know, get some listeners. It's the easiest way to do it. That's everywhere where you can reach us. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with a new episode. So until then, I've got my little slogan here.
Okay.
Quit your bitching and start your pitching.
Oh, fucking alive. Oh, shit. Let's go. That is a good one.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.